On today's episode of Hubris Syndrome, it's the half a year recap. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. We got kind of a two-part Chunin exams anime style arc ready to go. Today, we are going over the first half of 2016, some highs and lows. Next week, we're gonna hype up the second half of the year. Let's get started. Kicking things off in January, let's get dark. Let's go to a dungeon. Let's play Darkest Dungeon, finally out of early access, full release, ready to go. This game is brutal, uncompromising, unforgiving, and it just has a beautiful tone. The narrator alone is worth the price of admission. I have not even beaten this game, it is so intense. I need to go back to it. For those of you that don't have a gaming PC, fear not. It's coming to PS4 and Vita later this year. Darkest Dungeon. Progress at your own risk. February, just a jolly little month this year. A couple of throwbacks. Dying Light Remastered and Gravity Rush Remastered. I've talked about Dying Light in the past quite a bit, but Gravity Rush just really took me by surprise. A lot of people hyped it up on Vita. And you know, I'm not big on handheld gaming. I like to really get in the zone in my living room right here. Get on this couch, put some headphones on, turn off the lights, and that game is incredible. And it's just in time for Gravity Rush 2, just further establishing remasters as a good thing. I remember when they started cranking these out, there was all this backlash, people were pissed, they didn't want to buy a game again, and now it is just so nice to be able to play these games again in a fresher environment. Another game that came out in February, the biggest surprise of the year actually for me, a Game of the Year contender in my book, Garden Warfare 2. Who the hell knew this game was going to be so good? It looked like an expansion pack to the first Garden Warfare, and here we are in June, and I'm still diving back into the garden, killing zombies, pulling weeds out of the ground, killing plants. Just a hell of a good time. February also has one notable event in that game trailers shut down. This was a life-changing event. But it is true that when one door closes, another one opens. And here we are as easy allies, thanks to all of you, thanks to the patrons, bringing this video to you. We live to fight another day. So here comes March, and here comes Hitman. Whoa, was I a skeptic about this game? Coming off the abomination that is Hitman Absolution. I'd put it in the same category as Resident Evil 6 in terms of destroying a franchise that I love. And before the game comes out, they're saying it's episodic. You're encouraged to replay missions. It is everything I don't like about video games, episodic structure. And boy, am I just eating my words, eating my humble pie. This game has changed me. It has changed my outlook, and I love when that happens. That is the beautiful world we live in, when things can change your perspective and change your mind. It's made me a believer of the episodic structure, being able to go back with knowledge of the stage and do things differently. And let's not forget the elusive targets. These people come for a limited window, and it's like hardcore settings, and you only have one attempt to kill the target. And that is the most high stakes, intense way to play Hitman. It is a beautiful thing, and when you pull it off, you truly feel like an assassin. April, here comes April with a couple heavy hitters. First up, Quantum Break. If you passed on this game, if you heard bad word of mouth, I encourage you to pick it up, try it out. I'm sure it's on sale by now. If it's not, wait a little longer till it is. Just a hell of a ride, story-driven game. My favorite. I love a good story, I love a good tale, and Quantum Break is just seeping with intricate story details. Phenomenal game from Remedy Entertainment. Dark Souls 3 came out, and Easily the most fun Dark Souls to play through, but when I finished it, I stopped thinking about it. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it is franchise fatigue, but again, you know, going through was the most fun I've ever had in a Dark Souls game. But I kind of forgot about it quickly. And Star Fox Zero, this is one I wanted to talk about. The rebirth of Star Fox. So Star Fox Zero, I listened to the bad word of mouth. I looked at the bad press. All this negativity surrounding it. I didn't try it for myself, and that needs to be remedied. So I'm gonna stream this thing soon, play it soon, I will report back. I don't want the collective negative energy dictating my life. We're gonna go forward and back. June, the month we're in, it had SteamWorld Heist HD, which is on my PlayStation 4. I love SteamWorld Dig. Cannot wait to hop into SteamWorld Heist. Have not yet, but that to me was the biggest release of the month. Now we're gonna go back to May. May 2014, one of the biggest months in gaming history. Bold statement, but believe it. First I wanna talk about Doom. That's how you reboot a game. Is everyone looking? Everyone watching? Doom. Honestly, what world do we live in? Do we deserve this? We got Wolfenstein and Doom, and now Quake coming out. This resurgence of these early shooters rebooted in such a beautiful way to honor the past, honor the legacy, but survive in today's market is just a beautiful thing. Be sure to check out Doom and what we're talking about it, Wolfenstein: The New Order, hype. And lastly, we're gonna talk about the 2 Game of the Year candidates, which I'm sure we're gonna be talking about at the end of the year. It's gonna get intense. Hopefully we can film it, who knows. I don't wanna be a part of it because they're both 10 out of 10s. They're both masterpieces. First up, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Living up, if not surpassing the hype for me. Don't wanna go into too many spoilers because that's not what today's episode is about, but they truly made me care about video game characters like I have never cared before. Really drove home the human element in those games. And that's something that's hard to do in an action-adventure game. You know, you're sure there's all these comments about Drake, mass murder, whatever. It is an action game, first and foremost. You know, John McClane's out there killing 50 million people at a time for the sake of action. But they made me care about Drake and Sully and grounded it in a reality that I felt a part of. And lastly, Overwatch, a meticulously balanced and crafted multiplayer shooter. If you're complaining about loot boxes, how dare you? I'm gonna say it. How dare you? These are vanity items. They have absolutely no bearing or impact on the game at hand. So people just crying about not looking cool enough, no sympathy. You won't find it here. That's it for the show. That was the first half of 2016. We're just getting started. Join us next week as we hype up the back half of 2016. Spoiler alert, October. I'm at Michael P. Huber. If I missed anything from the first half of the year, let me know. And if you want to yell at me for talking about loot boxes, feel free. If you want to support Easy Allies, you can find us on Patreon, YouTube, Twitter, all the social medias. We're hanging out, we're having fun. That's what it's all about. Stay tuned for next week. Stay tuned. No, the video's over. Get out of here.
It's time for the syndrome.
We got a double dose of the syndrome for you today. Playing Hitman, you know what it makes me think of? The original Mission Impossible. I'm not going to assume that every single person has seen Mission Impossible. Sure, it's a big movie. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. But if you haven't, check it out. Second Ronin. One of the best action scenes in cinematic history. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Just tune in, check it out. De Niro in his prime.